Heart, and this is my first floss tube. I am feeling ridiculously nervous about this, which is bizarre because maybe nobody will even watch it, but here we are. As you can tell, I live in Australia and I have been stitching for a really long time. My grade 4 teacher taught me how to cross stitch, and then I had a bit of a break for a while until I moved to Brisbane to study, and then I, as part of my de-stress, started stitching, and it has only become more and more obsessive over time. So I've been watching Flosstube for a little while now, and I've really wanted to make my own Flosstube channel and make some videos to sort of keep track of what I do, what my stitching journey looks like, and also to reach out to the stitching community and maybe get to know some people a little bit better, because I am a massive introvert and I'd like to maybe make some friends in the stitching community. So I thought today I'd just talk about my whips and then maybe some plans for May. And I had finished on the weekend, so I thought I would show you that as well. So I only have right now 6 whips. I am the kind of person that only ever has around 5 to 7 whips, but as we'll talk about a bit later, that might change soon. So I'm just going to show you my 6 whips that I have right now. So my first whip is my oldest whip, and it is a HAED mini, but I am a slow stitcher, so I've been stitching on this pattern for about 3 years, and it is Mini Princess Izzy by Lynn, which is here. And as you can see, I am so close to having a finish. I only have this little section down here, and I've been working on it this weekend, and I did about 2,700 stitches and there's about 3,500 to go, and I cannot wait for it to be finished. I'm actually feeling a little bit burnt out on this one at the moment, and I'm stitching that 2/1 10th stitch, but I actually did parking on this for the first time for probably the first 2/3 of this, and it has made the back insane. It's really tough and really hard to stitch on. So the last page, because I got Pattern Keeper, I've gone back to cross country and it's been much more enjoyable. So I think that's going to be my plan going forward. My next whip is Castles in the Air by Long Dog Samplers, and I started this not too long ago, and as you can see I don't have heaps of progress on it, but I absolutely love this fabric. It is so pretty. It's Jaded by Colour Cascade Fabrics, and it is 32 count, and I'm stitching 2/2 with B5200. And as soon as I saw this pattern, I knew I wanted to stitch it on green, and I just love it. It's perfect. It's beautiful. Can't wait. I just love stitching. Every time I stitch on that project, it's wonderful. All right, so I have completed one HAED, which was tiny. It was about this big, and I've got that one that's nearly done. And because I got Pattern Keeper and all of a sudden stitching HAED's got so much easier, I have decided to stitch a full size HAED, and I started this one a few weeks ago, and it's my first time. I've been stitching for nearly 20 years, and it's my first time stitching on easy count, and it is 28 count easy count, and it's Ladybird in the Meadow by Lucy Pittawat, which is a fairly new pattern to Heaven and Earth Designs, and here it is here. And this pattern is like all pinks, purples, blues, and some greens. It's just all of my favorite colors. And as you can see, I've done, I think it's about 5,000 stitches so far, and it's my first time stitching on the diagonal as well, which I have to say I really, really like. So I'm going to keep working on it that way. And at the moment, I haven't had to stop doing the diagonal to move the Q-snap. So I'm going to keep working on it. My next whip is my current Mirabilia, so I try to only work on one pattern by a particular designer at any one time. So normally I would not have 2 HAEDs, but thank you Pattern Keeper, you've changed the way I do things. So this one is my one current Mirabilia, which is Mother's Arms, and I'm working the pattern. So I am a kind of stitcher that often starts from the middle, but anything that's more square and full coverage, I'll start at the top. So that's what I'm doing here. And so everything that you can see that has grey in the background is beads and metallic threads. So that it's going to be amazing. And I'm stitching this on Silver Springs from Colour Cascade Fabrics. You'll note a theme. I'm a big Colour Cascade fan. I like to support our Australian dyes. So this one is from her, and it is 32 count Jobelan. Alright, my next one is a lavender and lace. So this is my first time stitching a lavender and lace pattern. And I have the whole set of Celtic ladies, and this is Celtic Summer. So this is her here. She's so pretty. Once again, greens, blues, right my alley. So this is on Barbie Girl by Colour Cascade Fabrics, and it is just so light and pretty, and she looks so good on it. And it's just a tiny little stuff, but we'll get there. And then my last whip is something I started. So I do some magical stitches prompts, and I started this one for a prompt, but that's just how we do things. And this is Tenderness of Heart from Modern Folk Embroidery, and it's so pretty, so pretty. So it's also a fabric from Colour Cascade Fabrics, and it's a monthly mystery though, so it has no name. And I'm stitching it with a Colour DMC 4502, which is one of the variations. And I'm doing it 1 thread over 2, and this will be a 32 count as well. So yeah, so that's my current whips. And I have a finish to show you, which is really, really big. So this is Advent Animals from Brookes Books. And I've stitched them all on one massive piece of fabric. As you can see, it's huge. Because I wanted to make an Advent calendar with pockets for, I have a couple of children. And I wanted to make an Advent calendar for them with pockets, but then I was watching Flosstube, and I was watching Little Yellow House Crafts, I'm pretty sure that's her handle, and she did the same thing. She stitched them all individually, and she created them as ornaments and has them in a big frame, and you flip them around, and I just love that so much. And so when I watched that Flosstube a few months ago and she put it out, I was really inspired to finish this off so that I can do a finish just like that. So now that they're done, I now get the fun job of making all 25 of them into ornaments. And I was telling my son, who is turning 10 soon, that that's what I was going to do, and he was complaining that there would be no pocket with treats. So somehow I think I have to figure out how to put a pocket in the back of my ornament so that it can still flip around and maybe have a treat. So that is something I need to do before December. So that is all of my whips and my finish. And so I thought I would then talk about my plans for the next few weeks. So I work full-time, and as a lot of the world right now, I am working from home, which is interesting. And from next week, my kids are schooling from home. We've been on the spring, essentially for us, it's Easter break, not spring break, Easter break, which is actually autumn. This is the problem with being an Australian. I don't know if other Australians find this. When you watch a lot of American content, all of a sudden you start calling things the reverse. Very odd. Anyway, Easter break, and they're supposed to return to school on Monday, but our Premier has decided that we'll be doing schooling from home for the first 5 weeks of the term. So that starts on Monday, so I'm going to be combining working from home with schooling from home. And I have decided that to help with that stress, I'm going to do Mania for the first time, which is crazy. But what I've decided is that I cannot possibly do 31 starts or even 20 starts or 15 starts. As I said, I try to keep my whips between 5 and 7, but as I think a lot of stitchers are feeling right now, we really want to start some things and stitch all the things that make us feel happy. So I have decided that I would do starts on the weekends, and there are 5 weekends in May this year. And I would do a new start each Saturday and Sunday because that's when I'm not working. So I'll be doing 10 starts, and at the moment I have 6 planned, and I have 3 that I think I'll do, and I have 1 that I'm unsure of. So, but I feel like, you know, I actually find the planning part the most stressful bit, deciding what fabrics and deciding what threads, and I've been working on that the last few weeks, and I have a little bit more to go. I've ordered some things. I'm not sure that they'll be here in time, but we'll just see how it goes. So anyway, that's my plan for stitching anyway. As far as Flosstube goes, I'm thinking about doing these every few weeks. Certainly while I'm at home, it feels like it will be easier, and we're looking to probably be working from home for at least a couple of months, but that's still to be decided. So yeah, so that's me and that's my whips, and yeah, I hope that you enjoyed seeing my cross stitch and that you'll come back and see me again.